Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron. I hope you're having a great day or night in Jesus. Thank you so much for being with us. Need to try to at least answer the question, did the KJV add to Scripture? So let's look at that. I get that a lot on the channel. Basically, two guys promote this on YouTube. Two main guys. What's the guy's name? Dan Wallace, maybe in a sense, and James White. That's their names. But there's others, and really, if you go to a secular Bible school or something, this is what they're gonna put out there. You know, just your basic evangelical Bible school. They've bitten the apple of textual criticism. And because what happens when you start showing how the King James has, tens of thousands of words that, let's say, the NIV does not have, and removal of just wholesale verses often, and passages and all this, that people are like, hey, they see it, and so it makes a lot of converts to the KJV or the Byzantine text, Textus Receptus, majority text position, on and on. We understand and see people point out, well, you know there's differences. I know sometimes it refers to whole tradition, then there's nuances within the tradition. Just calm down. If that's all people have to buttress their argument, they have no argument at all. That's so pitiful. But anyhow, and so the rebuttal is, well, it's King James. And Westcott and Hort saw this, and they called it conflations of majesty or conflations of piety, or another synonym, but conflations of, that they had to add to this. Well, author Cleveland Cox, who studied a lot of ancient manuscripts, even many secular manuscripts mostly, said ancient scribal practice was such, because all the letters ran together. You could not add words and letters in ancient scribal practices. The most common would be to remove words, letters, or phrases, and then just extend your letters out slightly. And on a line, the course of a line, you could still kind of end with the same letter and begin with the same letter, and on and so forth. So, and then there's scribal examples that we have of exemplars that'll have scribal symbols basically saying the next time this is copied, remove this letter or something like that. And there's actually pictures you can see of that, and on and on. So, so the ancient manuscripts didn't add, they almost universally subtracted. There may be some rare occasions where they added, and on and so forth. But secondly, you've got, like in 1633, you've got the Elsevier saying, this is the text now received by all. It didn't matter where Protestantism was, they all used the same Bible text. It didn't matter if it was Polish, didn't matter if it was Spanish, didn't matter if it was Czech, didn't matter if it was French, didn't matter if it was Italian, didn't matter if it was Dutch, it didn't matter if it was English, German. They're all using the same text. And they had gone back to the times of the apostles and writings like what's called the early church fathers, which they're not. I hate that phraseology. We won't go into that. Call no man father kind of thing. But, and so, like your Dean Burgon, who studied 86,000 different instances in these ancient writings and showed that they knew of the King James readings, and on and on. And so you've got the overwhelming, almost every Greek manuscript in the world has the longer readings in it. It's called the minuscule tradition, even though it's later. Many or most of them are referring back to early exemplars, maybe even all the way back to the times of the apostles. Just copied, and when you use the Bible a lot, it falls apart, like this one. Falling apart. Whereas Bibles I don't use at all, they're in perfect mint condition, even though they'd be the wrong text. So you're having to say then all of these traditions, all of these Greek manuscripts are wrong. the Protestant reformers had it wrong. And you've got manuscripts, you've got an incomplete Bible that's constantly changing. Hence, it's what is it, the 29th edition of the Nestle's Island right now, or is it still the 28th? That changes every few years, and hundreds of additions or deletions or thoughts or incomplete textual apparatus and all of this. Yeah, no, the King James did not add to the Scriptures all the evidence, whether it's the Alexandrian manuscripts, the Scribal traditions. And see, what's called the Alexandrian manuscripts, by and large, don't agree amongst themselves. There's many thousands of differences in the Gospels alone. Burgon did us a favor and showed us all that. Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And no, the KJV did not add Scripture. That's just a red herring, people who want to defend a lie at any cost, or an incorrect belief system at the very being the most gracious, because not everybody, but may not be doing deliberately, would say that. But it's totally against the evidence. So the evidence just is not there. And I'd suggest you read, like Counterfeit or Genuine, True or False, David Otis Fuller's books. Some people are like, well, he copied from Benjamin Wilkerson in 1930, a Seventh-day Adventist. First of all, if there is any plagiarism, it's extraordinarily small and slight. You've obviously never read the book. You've just read people attacking the books. Secondly, it's tons of other people in there. It's not just David Otis Fuller. It's mostly articles of other people. But Philip Morrow books, Edward F. Hills, David Daniels, D.A. Waite, 2 PhDs, Hills, PhD from Harvard in New Testament manuscript studies, or whatever the name is. Even Jack Mormon's got good stuff. Tom Holland, Pete Ruckman, Ripplinger, anyhow. So, and also on all that, be careful watching people who attack other people, because you can make somebody look like the devil through just spliced comments and all this. And so always read the original sources. I made that mistake as a very young Christian. Being against people that I'd ever read, and only heard people attacking them and just ridicule them, making fun of them. And then I realized when I really read what they said, it was very scriptural and very true. So God bless, love you, stick with the Word. Don't change your sword in the midst of the battle, and we'll talk with you later. God bless you. Bye-bye.